Hey guys, this is George from Firehouse Music, and today I want to continue with our series on musical notation. And I know we talked about rhythm before, but I thought about it and I remember this tip that I got from one of our teachers here, Debbie Maddox, and shout out to Debbie. And she showed me this concept where you connect language with rhythms. And I really like that analogy because I use the same thing when I talk about improvisation, and maybe we'll do future videos on that. But I think that the language to music analogy is fantastic. I've loved it ever since I heard it for the first time. And because language, when you talk, you're arranging sounds in time. That is what rhythm is, right? So this concept, it's cool because sometimes for people it's difficult to quantize counting. Like if you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you begin to do the subdivisions 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and that 2 and that 3 and that 4 and so on. Sometimes that's difficult for people, and then they end up maybe counting the subdivisions as additional beats, and there's all kinds of anomalies that happen when people try to count. And I'm correcting these things on students, and especially when you're dealing with like little kids, it's hard to get them to count and stuff like that. So this language analogy is super cool, either with younger students or students who are having a hard time understanding rhythm, like at a gut level. So I like it because you just take any word, and if you have a word with one syllable, and we're going to use the word one, that's one beat. That's like a quarter note. So if you go, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, you end up with a quarter note rhythm. And then if you take a two-syllable word like apple, well, apple now has an accent on the first syllable. Apple, 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 apple. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and apple, 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 apple is the same rhythm. And then if you take a three-syllable word like pineapple, well, once again, you have the accent on the first syllable, and then you end up with 3 attacks. So instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for triplets, you just go pineapple, 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 and get the same effect, the same sound. And it's a lot easier to understand because you've been talking for a lot longer than you've been playing music, I'm sure. So I'm sure there are exceptions out there, but for most people, that's the truth. You've been talking for a lot longer. So speaking is a lot more natural. So if you're like, oh yeah, it's just like saying pineapple, then it makes more sense. And then you take a 4-syllable word for 16th notes. Like, I think we use huckleberry with the kids, right? So huckleberry, 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 right? 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E and is the same rhythm. And then you can go on even with like odd rhythmic divisions. Some of the divisions that are more difficult to count, like quintuplets. Quintuplets get divided into, because it's an odd division, right? And I think we talked about this in the time signature videos and stuff. A quintuplet, it's really you're squeezing a measure of 5/8 into a single beat, right? So everything that you do in 5/8, right, the division of 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, you're doing that, but you're doing all that in a single beat. So you still have these 2 plus 3, and that's what makes 5, right? So you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Most of the time, I think I've heard it as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and that's the one that feels the most natural. And if you use a word like university, right? University, 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 you get that same division. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I think if you're having a hard time counting these rhythmic divisions, finding a word and then saying the word to a metronome, it may feel a little weird, but once you get it quantized, it actually it's going to make things a lot easier, a lot more intuitive, and you're going to be able to feel these rhythms. And then when you have the important part, is you begin to combine these rhythms, right? So if you combine the rhythms together, it's as simple as putting the words one after the other. So one pineapple, one pineapple, one pineapple, right? 1, 1, 2, and right? You're just moving up moving forward. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and right, and you're dividing the beat that way. 1 pineapple, 1 pineapple, 1 pineapple, right? That's a quarter note plus a set of triplets. And you can get creative with that, combining it in as many ways as you can. And then there are, now when you have hybrid rhythms, when you have things that where, say you have a quarter note and then you have 2 sixteens, like a reverse gallop or a gallop, which is 2 sixteens and then 1/8. Then things get a little bit more interesting, because you can find like word analogs for that, but it's a little bit more difficult. Then it's a lot easier to find a rhythm that kind of works within, with a gallop. It's like a horse, right? Da 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 da. So you have 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, right? Or the reverse. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It sounds like a horse running. So that we can get creative with those rhythms. But as far as simple, like one beat kind of combinations of things on the guitar, especially in the beginning, that's what we're mostly working with, are groupings, like one beat groupings, and then they're kind of put together. This concept is going to make things so much easier and more intuitive. Anyway, that's it. That's the tip that I have for you guys. I hope that helps, and it makes the whole counting thing a little bit more intuitive, a little bit easier. And yeah, if you like this content and or you like me, just come by to Firehouse and sign up for some lessons. We do lessons online too, so you can visit our website, firehousemusic.net. Yeah, just come check us out.